TJ Trinity Studios. Sorry we have been gone so long, but I got married. Ryan and I got married. And we were on our honeymoon, and then I lost my voice and got sick because of heat exhaustion and a sore throat. So, no, it's not COVID. I'm so sick of hearing about COVID. Anyway, tonight we're going to make caramel apple cinnamon rolls. So, what you want to do is, I've already, because this is quite a huge step to do, I've already decored the apples and Ryan diced them up for me because he dices way better than I do. Thank you, honey, for that.
You're welcome.
I also cheated a little bit. I took store-bought cinnamon rolls. So this is actually a recipe that's going to elevate store-bought cinnamon rolls. I rolled them out into one big flat thing, which I didn't realize we were going to have this much apples when we cut up 6 apples. These apples are Fiji apples. You can use any kind of apple you want. My mom said the Fiji apples are really sweet, but to me they just taste like a normal apple. I'm used to Honeycrisp apples. Those are my favorite. And so you're gonna, with all those types of apples, with all 6 of them, this is just 1 can of the cinnamon rolls. You're gonna want to have 2 cans of the cinnamon rolls. So what you're going to do is you're going to wad them all up and make it into one big ball, and then you're going to take your little rolling pin and you're going to roll it out. You'll roll it out really flat, and what you'll normally do is you'll put the caramel and the apple topping on it, and then you'll roll it up. But this time I did it different because I only have 1 roll. So I took and I just rolled it out and I diced it. Just put it in some squares. Alright. So, we want to get our apples going. You want to have a whole stick of butter. You want to have half a stick of butter in the pan for your caramel. And then you want to have half a stick of butter for your apples, because you're going to make some cinnamon apples. So, what you want to do is, yeah, I need to plug that in. You also want to have brown sugar. And with it being a boxed one, it's got this topping. It'll probably go on it too with the caramel because I like caramel. And then you're going to have a little, as much cinnamon as you want. You don't really have to measure it out. I just tossed it in here so we wouldn't get in trouble for the label. Anyway, we're going to turn this on. You don't want to turn it on too high. You want to put it on medium. Both of them. You want your butter melting, because once your butter melts in this pan that you're doing your caramel, which you're supposed to have a candy thermometer. I don't really have a candy thermometer, so I'm going to wing it, because sometimes that's what you do when you just want to cook things. So you want to have brown sugar, and I have a half cup of brown sugar we're going to put in, but we're going to do more than a half a cup. So we want this to melt. To get your butter to melt, you can either store it at room temperature and it'll melt faster, because you want this butter really melted really well. You can leave your solid butter stick out at room temperature, or you can slice it so it'll melt that way too. We did a lot on our honeymoon. We went to Branson and He did so many shows, it was unreal. We saw Riza, we saw the Tenors, and Celtic Ladies, and we went to an 80s and 50s. Oh, speaking of 80s, 50s, and 60s, and 70s, we got Journey Through the Decades coming up. It will probably be next month, and we probably won't be filming as much as we normally do because college is starting back up, so I'll have my classes, so it depends on how much papers and stuff like that I can get done. But I will try my hardest to have these videos done for you guys. Anyway, we have Journey Through the Decades coming up for a series that we're doing. Webbs and I are going to do some more funny stuff for you guys. And then we also have foods around the world where I'm going to make certain foods from certain areas of the world. And we're going to have our own version of YouTube Chopped coming up for a series as well. If you've seen Chopped on TV, that is. Which Chopped is, if you haven't seen it, you get a basket full of, what is it, 4 or 5 items? Sometimes it's 4 items, and sometimes it's 5. So, what'll happen is, I'm going to send Webbs or Ryan to the store. We're going to put that thought on hold. So, once you got your butter down like this, you want to try to use unsalted butter. It's a lot healthier for one, and for two, you don't have as much salt, but, I mean, if you wanted to use salted butter will work just as fine. Alright, you see how this butter is down? Like that. We're going to toss in, we're going to put in about half of this cinnamon. Make a cinnamon butter. Okay, and now we're going to put our apples in. Which, yeah, is definitely a lot of apples. I should have only cut up 4 apples. Oops, I just spilled one. So you want to get all of these warm and soft. You don't want them too soft because if you get them too soft, they'll turn into applesauce. And you don't want applesauce. You want chunks of apples. Now, what I'm going to do is pour the rest of this cinnamon on top. I'm going to get the lid and put it on there because it'll steam. When you use a lid on things, the steam will cook the stuff real easy for you. Alright, so this butter is melted down. Now, here comes the tricky part. With caramel, it is really, really easy to burn the brown sugar. So, we're going to put about a cup in there because we just need enough to put a little bit in with the apples and drizzle it over the top. So once you have that in there, you want to keep stirring it till, ooh, maybe I need more butter. Crap. It'll be alright. It'll go down. Alright, what was I saying before the butter started melting down really good?
You're going through your series?
Oh yeah, foods around the world.
The chopped one?
Oh yeah, so you get Ryan will go to the store and he'll pick out 4 items and he'll hide them in a basket, and when he says go, I'll open the basket, see the 4 items. You have to use the 4 items. Definitely gonna need more butter. See, by me putting in, that's got my caramel too thick. This like applesauce consistency. You don't want it thick like that. So we're gonna add more butter. Sometimes you have to do that, depending on how much. This is what I used to cut the butter earlier, so it's okay. Depending on how much sugar you put in there. But you want to keep stirring it. You don't want to constantly stir it, because you want it to boil and reduce, the sugar to reduce. So, but if you don't stir it, sometimes it'll burn real easy. Caramel will burn super easy. Okay. So, anyway, I'll open the basket. There'll be 4 items in there. And I have to use each of the 4 items in a meal that I decide to make out of the 4 items. Why is this butter being difficult? Alright, well, I'll just do that then and cover it up. Webs is designing us a logo for t-shirts. I'm excited about that. We're trying to get merchandise going. Now see, adding more butter gave it more liquid to reduce down. And I haven't made caramel in a while, so see how it's like thinning out? It's starting to thin out now. I haven't made caramel in a while. I'm just a home cook. I'm not a chef or anything. I do have some cake videos coming too. Just figured I'd give you guys a heads up. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to put on the cake or what kind of cake it is, but I like to give you guys little hints and stuff sometimes. Look at that. That caramel looks yummy. Juice it down. See how that's going? Ooh, it's gonna drizzle good. Alright, we're gonna let it boil just a little bit without stirring it. But you want to keep an eye on it because it can burn real easy. That's why you want to keep it at a medium temperature. You don't want to keep it on high, because you'll burn it. I've made homemade applesauce before. I might do that sometime in the near future, but I don't know yet. I almost feel like this isn't on. Nope, it's on. That was dumb. Alright, you want to make sure you're stirring these apples as you steam them. Remember, you want them mushy, but not too mushy. As you get them too mushy, they're going to smash and they're going to be applesauce. Ooh, it's smelling good in here. Uh-oh. Oh, it's coming out good. Alright, we're good. See how that's doing that? I feel like I forgot an ingredient. It's been a while since I've made homemade caramel. What did I forget on it?
Aw.
Is it supposed to have a little bit of milk in
Look
it?
at Mr. Idiot for TikTok. Yeah.
I don't know. It seems awful frothy. Don't it?
Mm.
That was a bad idea. Don't do that. Oh my god, that burnt my finger so bad. It's definitely caramelizing, but I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna make it creamier. That burnt my finger. Son of a gun. Of course, this faucet does that. I'm just gonna add just a little bit of milk. I think that's what it's missing. There, it's coming out of it. That's what it was missing, was the milk. Duh. Like I said, it's been a while since I've made caramel. So, when you make caramel, make sure it's butter, brown sugar, and just a little bit of milk. Smells good. And again, do not touch hot caramel. Nikes. That literally stuck to my finger. Burnt my finger. Alright, this is the consistency you want. That is a perfect consistency. You want your caramel to look as smooth as this. See how smooth that looks? Might add just a little bit more milk to give it a little bit of smoothness. And I think it's good. What do you need salt for? Alright, that caramel is done. So we're going to pour it, half of it, over the apples. Because we want a little bit to put over the top of this stuff. But the only problem with that is if
Or 90%.
that's okay. It'll still have that caramel taste. Not as much as this. It's gonna have a mixture. Alright, set that right there. Hopefully it doesn't get all sticky. Put that in here. Alright. If you guys have any recipes you want me to make for foods around the world or just in general, go ahead and just leave them in the comments. And I will make them in the comments. I mean, I will look at the comments, respond, and I will make one of y'all's recipes. And if I pick one of your recipes, it might go in my cookbook. Actually, no. If I like your recipe enough, it will go in my cookbook that I'm working on. That will be your gift. Alright, you see how these are all caramelized? They look good, don't they? Don't they look good? Scrumptious. Yeah, let's test it out. Let's see if these apples are even close to being. Not even close. I'm gonna turn up the heat just a smidge. Not too much. Did I never turn that on? Well, that was weird. Yeah, those are still raw. Which is fine, but you want them cooked. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Alright. Which don't want them fully cooked because you're putting it in the oven, of course, and letting it cook in there too. Yeah, our caramel topping is getting caramelizing. Oh, it'll still scrape. Cool. Alright, well, we're just waiting for this to cook up. We're gonna put this in here along with those. And maybe one time I'll sit there and I'll actually make homemade, the dough all homemade and everything for the cinnamon rolls instead of just doing a store-bought and put this filling in it. These taste good. I've never had these before, so. I honestly saw the recipe in a video and just was like, oh, I'm gonna try that and see how it tastes. We also have, I'm looking into getting some equipment to film better. And we're going to look into some more stuff to help make the videos better as well. So maybe we can get more subscribers. To those of you who have subscribed and like my videos and give me comments, thank you so much for all that support. Y'all are awesome. And alright, those are starting to cook down now. Look at how good those look.
I swear.
It smells like caramel apple in here. Let's see if those are getting any softer. I'm at home, so I can use the same fork. If you're in a chef area or like a kitchen area where you're actually cooking for people, don't use the same fork to taste food. Those are good. Alright, I think those are cooked down enough. Because like I said, we're going to cook some more in here. So, what we're going to do is re-rinse our pan because it's been sitting there now. Shut this off. Unplug. We're going to put these little pieces in there, just randomly throw them in there. No matter where you throw them. I'll make sure it gets all over the pan though. Which these are supposed to expand as you cook them, so hopefully this works. I might have too many apples and not enough cinnamon roll. See how I'm just tossing them in there, it doesn't matter where I put them. As long as you get it all the way across the pan. I was gonna do a video of the wedding, but I don't know how to get that from where. We have it and upload it. So maybe if I get that figured out, we might have the wedding one up there. I had an epic video coming, but me getting sick hindered that. Note to self, when it's really hot out, don't wear pants and a shirt. Stick with your summer wear. Especially if it's like 99 degrees. Alright, so I have it all spread across there like so. And we're going to take and we're going to put our apples in there. I'm going to put the apples in. So, whoops. Don't spill it on your stuff. Don't spread them apples out evenly. Now we're going to put this in there for a good put that in there, let it cook for a good 15 minutes. And then once this is done, you want to set it at 400. Let it cook a good 15 minutes. Oops, I put it to 20. Oh well. I'm gonna do that, and then I'll let it cook. Once it gets done, the cinnamon roll should poof up and make a loaf with the apples. I'm hoping it works. Like I said, I watched a video, and sometimes it doesn't always turn out like the video, as my dad says. And then once that's done, we'll put the icing on top, and we'll drizzle the rest of this caramel on top. It's not hard. Uh-oh. Just trying to harden up on me. But we'll do that, and I will let you know in the next video if it failed or if it was good. Y'all make sure you hit that like button and be sure to give me a comment at the bottom of your favorite recipe that you want me to do, so if I pick it, it'll get put in my cookbook that I'm working on. And be sure to share the video, and if you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit that little subscribe button. Be sure to hit that little bell to get a little ding-a-ling-a-ling. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry. Y'all have a good night. Bye.